Zdravo svima. Dobrodošli na današnju prezentaciju Fakulteta za elektrotehniku, računarstvo i informatiku iz Maribora i Slovenije. Ja sam Andrej Žgank i sam profesor telekomunikacija na Univerzitetu u Mariboru u Sloveniji. Prvo ću vam na kratko predstaviti naš fakultet, a onda ću više govoriti o studijskom programu telekomunikacija. Ako imate bilo kakvo pitanje, stavite ga u chat i ja ću onda odgovoriti posle kraja prezentacije na vaša pitanja. Ovaj kraći uvod bio je na srpskom jeziku, a sada ću nastaviti engleskom jer će mi tako biti lakše da vam objasnim neke tehničke termine i detalje. So let's continue in English language. I will now share my presentation for today. Our faculty has 7 different study programs: electrical engineering, mechatronics, media communication, computer science, information and data technology, and telecommunication. I will today mostly talk about study program on telecommunications because this presentation is connected with the second application deadline, and study program telecommunications is the one that has most available places for enrollment. So our faculty is based in the city center of Maribor, which is really convenient for you as you have all the infrastructure, all the details, all the facilities available on site. There are many possibilities for you for sporting, for connecting with other students. You have all restaurants around. So really it's a busy and frequent area here around our faculty. Our faculty is the leading teaching and research institution in this field of engineering in Slovenia. That's important for you because in this way you will get current knowledge about the development of technology. You will see how well are we connected with research and different other scientific projects. All our study program has, of course, European qualification and are in detail monitored by national and international quality assurance commissions. Our study environment here, our facilities are new. You can see here some pictures of our building, which is our main building, which is 10 years old. We are currently developing plans to build additional buildings next to the current ones. So all our infrastructure is really modern and up to date. We can say that we are the largest faculty at our university here in Maribor, with more than 300 employees and more than 2,000 students, where our faculty is actually 63 years old. In the last 5 years, 10 years, we were already involved in attracting students from Western Balkans, from Serbia, Bosnia, from Macedonia. We have approximately, in average, more than 15% of foreign students that are studying at our faculty. This number is even higher for some of the study programs. Telecommunications is one of such study programs where in the last year, half of the students in the first year were from abroad. You have seen already when I was presenting all study programs at our faculty that we are educating for the most promising professions. There is a high demand for our students from industry in Slovenia, in different countries abroad. So our engineers are welcome in different regions, in different companies. But this is not the only background that we will get here at our faculty. Of course, our faculty gives you a really good background also for further research work. Today's presentation will be mainly focused on first cycle, on bachelor, and even some small details on second cycle on master studies. But we have also a PhD study program here at our faculty so that you can pursue your scientific career afterwards. Why study in Maribor? Actually, Maribor is the second biggest city in Slovenia. We have approximately 100,000 population. The study environment is really stimulating. We have a lot of different music events, sports events. There are ski resorts really nearby. You can go there by city bus. There's a well-known summer festival on the river banks of Drava that you can see here on the pictures. On the picture, all our infrastructure for students is well located near our faculty, near the university. The nearest student dormitory is just on the other side of the street. The furthest one is, let's say, 10 minutes walk from our location. You have a public transport with the reduced fees for students, free short time renting for bicycles here in the municipality. All dormitories, student dormitories that belong to our faculty, to our university, have high-speed internet network. You have parking spaces available, all additional services that you would probably need. If you don't get any place in student dormitories, that's was also a possibility. There are also private rooms available at quite an affordable prices here. Slovenia has organized subsidized student meals in ordinary restaurants, not in all of them, but in quite many of them. So even for this part of your student life, it's well cared of. The location of Maribor, it's not that further away from other countries. There's 5 hours with car from Belgrade, 6 hours from Sarajevo, and approximately 10 hours from Skopje. These were now some general informations about our study program. I will now, and our faculty, and I will now continue with presentation of our study program on telecommunication. Telecommunications are today something different that you were thinking of them if somebody will ask you, let's say, for 10 or 15 years about them. Telecommunications are today interdisciplinary research and engineering field, well based in the ICT domain, in the information and communication technology domain. There are 3 main topics that are covered during your study programs on telecommunication. The first one are telecommunication systems. The second one are telecommunication networks. And the third one are telecommunication application services. So we're not discussing anymore just some mobile base station with some wires and some transmitter, but state-of-the-art telecommunications are much broader field, addressing all different aspects from taking care how you capture your signal, how you process it, how you take care for your data on your network, different types of network, fixed, mobile network, whatever you would like to use. You can incorporate this with different embedded systems, like, let's say, like this one here, into much broader systems. One of good examples of such systems are Internet of Things solutions. So Internet of Things, IoT, will be one of the topics that I will speak quite frequently today, because it incorporates all these three areas, including machine translation and artificial intelligence, because telecommunications are closely connected to the way how information is first captured, then transmitted, and also processed to be available to humans as the end result of such system. Our study program will give you a good background in research and development, of course, because we would like to educate our engineers in a way that they will be able to lead development of future technologies. That's an important issue. We are following guidelines of IEEE, which is an international organization covering these research fields. But it's not important just that you get enough knowledge about your primary discipline. It's also important to get complementary soft skills like project management, how to deal with different types of presentations, how to write some reports and so on. So these soft skills are also covered in our study program, which is mainly connected, of course, to telecommunication technological fields. As already mentioned, the majority of today's presentation will be focused on bachelor's degree, the first cycle degree, but also with some details about the second degree. The first cycle degree has 3 years, so 6 semesters with 180 ACTS credit points. There are 15 places available for enrollment for citizens of non-European countries where Western Balkans also belongs to. The second cycle, the master study, which follows, of course, the first cycle, the bachelor, it's a 2 years program with only 4 semesters and 120 ECTS points. In this case, there are 4 places available for non-European citizens. The next important question for you, of course, is what are the admission requirements? Admission requirements when you are finishing high school, that's important question for you, where to continue with your study, in which direction your career will go on. If you would like to enroll to bachelor study program of telecommunications, you need to pass the Matura examination or some other types which I think are more connected to Slovenian high school students. I don't think the vocational Matura is that important for you. I'm not that much that good informed about the way how high school is organized in Serbia. The application deadline for the second poll is between 6th and 8th of September this year. So that's quite a short term. So if you decide you would like to study telecommunication, please take care, have all documentation ready, be able to apply as soon as the application will be open on 6th of September. For the second cycle, for the master studies, you need first, of course, to finish one of the bachelor studies, either in your country or Slovenia or whatever. This first study program must be from ICT domain. Usually we are using these Classius IDs, these numbers in parentheses, which are explaining which study program is the best one to enroll to the second cycle. In parallel to ICT programs, also electrical engineering, electronics, some mechatronics and industrial engineering study programs are okay to be able to enroll to the second cycle. Otherwise, if you have been studying some other field, like, I don't know, chemistry or machine engineering or something similar, you will need to pass some bridging examinations in this case. There are also some other admission requirements if you have graduated a long time ago already, before 2004, but I don't think that these details are that important at the moment. If you have some specific questions about admission requirements for the second cycle, you can also send an email to our student office, and they will be happy to answer all more specific details like those that are usually connected with the most frequent cases. The application deadline for second cycle for non-European Union citizens, it's a bit longer. The second call will start on July 7th already and will end on 8th of September this year. But you need to be careful because you need to prepare some additional documents. So although this time period seems a bit longer than the first one, please be aware that you should apply as soon as possible. The deadline for graduation on your bachelor study, if you would like to enroll to master studies, is on 7th of September. But in this case, it could be already late if you would wait that long for with graduation on your bachelor study program. So now let's go to some more true technical aspects of today's presentation. So as I have already mentioned, telecommunications are combined from the areas of communication system, networks, and services. We are covering all these fields, so we'll also get some basics on electronics, because otherwise you will not be able to build some IoT devices. You will not be able to integrate embedded systems with some sensors, actuators, and so on. We will be discussing about broadcasting, about different types of transmissions, how wired or wireless communication systems can be designed, implemented, and even evaluated in the field. IoT, Internet of Things, is an important issue. We will be talking a lot about intelligent ambience, about smart home solutions, as these are all different research areas that we are working on in our scientific projects and industrial projects. The bachelor study curriculum has 6 semesters. We have winter term and winter semester and summer semester. Usually there are 5 different subjects in each semester. We are starting with basic knowledge. So if you are coming from some high school where you didn't get enough technical background, you don't need to be afraid of any programming and so on. We are starting here from scratch. So we will teach you how to program in those languages that are currently most frequently used and popular in the domain of telecommunication. If you were already enrolled in your high school where you have some programming, in this case, it will be easier. You don't have to be afraid of that. We have also support for our students that have maybe some problems with mathematics. Some of you are afraid if mathematics is difficult. Of course, this is an engineering study. You cannot be an engineer without applying mathematics to real life problems that are basics. But we will give you here a solid background during the first year, including some basic courses on telecommunications to be aware of all the details that you see in a telecommunication system. In the second year and the third year, the study will focus on those 3 different areas that I mentioned before. So we will have first some introductory courses on networking, different aspects of wireless, wired networking. We are here cooperating with our Cisco Academy. So we will get a hands-on experience in a real network environment, how to configure things, how to monitor it, how to take care of any problems in the network. We will teach you how to deal with different types of content, whether it's this music, speech, video signal, image processing, because these content processing approaches are needed if you would like to work on services and applications. Mobile applications are such important issue for our students, even some multimedia, mobile interaction, how users are interacting with a smart system, with smart home environment, let's say. The first cycle, the bachelor study, ends with final projects, which is a bit simpler than doing a standard diploma thesis, because we would like to ease the way for you to be able to enroll to master's study. The master's study has 3 semesters, which are dealing with different, more focused topics of telecommunication, again, from services, network, and telecommunication systems. You have, of course, I forgot to mention before, you have some elective courses available when you can decide which topics are more important for you, so you can direct your future career into one of the fields that you think it will be the most beneficial for you. The master study ends with the 4th semester, where you're working on your master thesis. I will show you later on some of the master's theses of our students. They are all really connected with real life experiments, with real life environment, with real life solutions that are also interesting for companies or for other projects that we are involved in. I will now present you some short slides about different study courses. Some of them, of course, there's not enough time to present all of them to you. One of them is, let's say, antennas and wave propagation, where you are simulating different types of antennas, numerical simulations. You will also have lab works where you will build an example of such antenna. You will do some measurements on them to see how such antenna operates in real life. So to be able to transmit your signal to some remote locations afterwards. Some trivia for those of you who don't know, the whiskey bottle is there because Giulio Macroni, the inventor of wireless propagation, his mother was a daughter from the distillery Jameson from Ireland. Transmission systems. Now you know how to build an antenna. You can now transmit your signal. You can see here on picture our nano satellite called TRISAT. This was the first Slovenian nano satellite built entirely at our university, at our department. It was successfully launched into space 3 years ago. We are now building already the third Slovenian nano satellite, which will be launched into space in a few months. So you will see how transmission systems work in normal real-life conditions here on Earth. But we will also talk something about space communication, how to deal with software-defined radio, with other state-of-the-art approaches that are today needed to communicate in different environments. The transmission systems are, of course, connected with broadband networks and protocols. There are quite many broadband networks. There are quite many protocols that are used today. You will go through them, you will get more familiar with all the important details, how to develop network, if you would like to use, let's say, multicast network, how to deal with huge amount of data that is today transmitted between data centers and so on. Of course, you cannot build a broadband network if you don't have enough details about TCP/IP network. TCP/IP network is still the basic stone of today's communication. So you will go, you will learn all the details that you need for developing services based on TCP/IP networks. Whether are these just some IP packets or some of the higher layer protocols. Today development in the wireless network is so important for everyday's life that there is a lot of impact in wireless network. We will be teaching you all about different mobile networks. Of course, the most important one is the 5G, which will enable us to implement all different Internet of Things scenarios supporting artificial intelligence in a real-life environment. Personal area networks are also important, like Bluetooth, Zigbee, NFC, how you plan your wireless network inside the building, how to plan it as a mobile operator. These issues are all well covered during our study program. If the first few courses were more oriented toward networking, toward systems like our nanosatellite, the following ones will be more oriented toward services, applications, and content processing. There is a lot of knowledge that you will gain here about telecommunication services, from mobile service to Internet of Things, because there are different perspectives how such service can be integrated into real life. Service as the final building block of telecommunication chain is usually not responsible just to interact with the human user, but it also involves some important building blocks on content processing, either from coding, streaming like Netflix and other streaming platforms. These are all types of communication services where you have to take care about the way how you integrate your network with content processing facilities, how you prepare your streaming service, server, how you keep control over the quality of network, how you keep control over quality of experience that the user is confronted with. So that's why the communication services are really a broad field connected with those things that you know from your everyday's life. The content processing, which can be done on such embedded platforms like this one that you see here on picture, or on some huge servers, or even on some HPC environments that we also have access to, mainly for our research, of course, not just for other topics. All these things are involved with signal processing. All content is based on signal processing. That's why it's also important to have knowledge about different signal processing algorithms and methods that are present in the telecommunication chain. You will be dealing with different types of noise, different types of degradations that occur during network transmission, either from a codec or from direct transmission on the network, let's say packet loss, jitter, delays. All these artifacts can be really good baseline for different signal processing approaches, how to enhance your signal, how to improve its quality if some degradations in your network occur. And of course, to finish this short presentation of subjects, artificial intelligence, machine learning is an important building block of today's telecommunication systems, of Internet of Things solutions. So we will be dealing with machine learning in advanced telecommunication services, usually using some type of telecommunication data. This can be a networking data like traffic management. This can be some video signal, preparing everything, or let's say better, captured video, preparing everything for streaming, doing some content processing on your video signal, on your video, on your captured video, trying to identify objects in your video stream, who is the presenter today, trying to see different types of objects that can be captured in the video. So a lot of different data from real world has its good good usage scenarios in telecommunication systems. The same as I was explaining for video goes also for audio or for speech. You can try to do some, let's say, speaker recognition, speech recognition, even systems like ChatGPT, which is used for generating text as output, can be used in telecommunication systems. And at our faculty, our research group is the one that has the most background in large language models, how to deal with speech input, with text input, how to do natural language processing, how to do speech and language technologies research. These study programs are these study courses are just some of them. Those ones were mainly for master study, because of course you need to get enough basic knowledge during bachelor study, but you will get that one, you will get this in case when when you follow closely enough the first year, it's really important for you to be able to pass the exams during your first year. The first year is the most important, because it's difficult for you to switch over from the high school way of thinking, how things were organized in your high school, where you have different pedagogical solutions present. And when you're trying to study, when you are studying, the most of initiative it's on your own. Of course, we are supporting you as much as possible. Our teaching is focused on lectures, on tutorial, on lab works, where you are working on real time, on real life solutions, on real life examples. But at the end, it's up to you. It's up to you to take the study seriously, to try to push the boundaries of your knowledge as much as possible. We are also organizing some excursions for students. We have here invited lectures from different companies each year. So we are trying to give you even some soft skills. We are trying to give you possibilities to connect with companies already during your study. We are giving a lot of emphasis on project and teamwork. This depends on different lab works, on different projects that you can solve. We have some older students that are tutoring you. Each year, there is also one of the professor mentoring each class. So you have always some of our professors that it's taking care about all those details that are also important beside the study. When are different exams? If you would like to have contact with some other professors, if you are interested in some research work, if you would like to cooperate with one of our laboratories. So this professor who is mentoring your class, it's always your first choice of contact if you have anything that's bothering you. The knowledge assessment, it's quite similar like at other faculties. So there are written oral exams, you have to finish your lab works, you have to present sometimes results of your lab works, and so on. Some details about language. That's an important question for you as you are coming from abroad. The study program in telecommunications and all other study programs at our faculty are given in Slovenian language only. But we have a free introductory Slovenian language course at the beginning of each study year. So if you apply soon enough, you will be involved. Involved into this Slovenian language course. Slovenian language is similar to other Western Balkans languages. It's not that difficult to learn it. Of course, we are aware of your situation when you start with your study, that you don't know the language. All professors are aware of this. So we are not that strict on the language that you are using. So you are either combining those first steps of Slovenian language that you have already learned with your native language. You can even try to do some parts of exam even in English language. So there is a lot of flexibilities. We know from previous year, from previous experience, that usually students don't have a lot of problems with studying in English in Slovenian language. Usually you will get familiar with Slovenian language already after winter term, or let's say at least after the summer term. At the end, if you're a foreigner, you can write your final project, or in the second cycle, your master thesis in English language. That's also one of the possibilities. So you don't have to be afraid that at the end you will need to write a complete final work in language that you have just started to learn, let's say 3 or 5 years ago. So our previous experience with students from Serbia, from Northern Macedonia, from Bosnia is really good. The language is not an obstacle for you to be able to study. Some of our foreign students are now even already PhD students here at our department and are pursuing their PhD and their research career at our faculty. Just as a small detail, we were also heavily, of course, involved in the transition to remote work during the COVID pandemics. All lectures were given in the remote environment, so we were really active doing this, and I think we were also quite successful. I will now show you some student projects and activities. You will see here some examples of different real-life problems, of real-life challenging tasks that our students were addressing during their work. One of them was working on IP television and IPTV and quality of experience for video on demand. You can see here an example of object classification in one of our smart environments. You can see an IoT device. Our students are taking part in different student contents like Imagine Cup, some student conferences. We are working on emotion recognition from speech. We are doing LAN party networks here for our students and so on. So really a lot of topics that we are proud of. Our research and industrial projects are also really important. We are heavily involved in state-of-the-art and prestigious European projects, Horizon projects, 2020 Horizon Europe projects. You can see here some examples. We are dealing with smart hospitals, with e-health, how to take care for for patients after rehabilitation. We were working on speech recognition environment and speech translation, even between Serbian and Slovenian language in one European project, intelligent ambience project. We are even working on some integration of robotic system with human-computer interface into next generation internet-supported hospital, where a robot, which is it's a platform that we are using for enabling IoT support and artificial intelligence support for supporting the nurses and doctors in a smart environment of a hospital. Here you can see some master thesis, face recognition example, modeling of narrowband IoT system inside the building, security, planning of a network, analysis of antenna in a numerical environment, and so on. So there are really very different and broad topics that telecommunication as one of the ICT domain study programs is covering today. Employment options are also, of course, important for you. Potential employers are different network operators, mobile, fixed. Our students, or let's say our engineers, are working for all operators in Slovenia, for different operators in neighboring countries. Our engineers are working for companies that are developing telecommunication systems that are integrating different different building blocks into IoT solutions. Smartis is one of them, SAT, Iskratel. These are mainly Slovenian companies, but we have also our former students, different companies abroad in Austria, in Croatia, in Norway, in Czech Republic, and so on. Other companies are producing telecommunication equipment. Aviat is one of those, building wireless solutions. Iskratel is one of them. But at the end, you must also take into account ICT, networking solutions are so important for all other companies. You cannot run a company without a network, without a guy who is taking care about ICT. So you can find our students also in all other different industrial sectors in Slovenia or in other countries. And as I have already mentioned, our master study program is also a good background if you would like to pursue your research career, to be enrolled in a PhD study. So this was a short presentation of study program telecommunications at our faculty of electrical engineering and computer science here in Maribor. I hope that you have seen that these study programs give you a good background, good engineering background, so that you can start to work in industry afterwards or go into direction of research work. And I invite you, if you have found some interest, to enroll, to apply for our study program here in Maribor. If there are any questions, I will now try to answer them. If you will see this recording afterwards, if you will see it offline, you can also address questions to our student office. You have all the details on our web page. So you will find all the contact details there. There are some questions. The first one is, how much is the tutoring fee for telecommunications? There is actually no tutoring fee because this is a regular study program. If you are enrolled in the Slovenian study program as non-European citizen, there is no tutoring fee for you. Second question, where can I get a job after my studies? As I have already explained, the most traditional job is for some of the telecommunication operators, where you will take care about networks, about services, about user support, about quality assurance, and so on. Other possibility are companies developing telecommunication systems. They are integrating different networks with servers, with background engines like object recognition, signal processing, speech recognition. So they are building real-life solutions like video streaming platform, like intelligent ambience for smart home, for some public place, for industrial environment. Even industrial IoT is also an important issue. You have the possibility to work for companies developing telecommunication equipment, mostly, let's say, networking part, processing part, transmission, broadcasting part. And as I mentioned already, in general, all companies need today some ICT engineers. As soon as company has several 10 of employees, such company need an engineer that needs to take care about their ICT solutions, from network, from different services, servers that are using cloud solutions, mobile applications, and so on. These are all the details that are involved into our study program, so you will get a solid knowledge about these areas to be able to pursue then your career. And as I mentioned, of course, you can pursue a research career and as a job be a researcher or be involved in any other type of research and development. Where can I find the list of subjects? The list of subjects is also available on our webpage. There are even more details that I have presented today for each subject. You will see all the details, what are the topics that are involved, who is the professor, how many hours, how much of lab works are involved in this subject, and so on. So all these details can be seen at our webpage. Let me just check if this is it. Yeah, I think these are now all the questions. As I said, if there will be any additional questions, just send them to our student office and they will be happy to answer them. If you have any more specific question for telecommunication, you can even contact me. My contact details are also available on our webpage, and I will be happy to explain you everything that you need to know about studying telecommunication here in Maribor. I hope that we will see you in the autumn in Maribor at our faculty, and I wish you good luck with ending your high school if you haven't done that yet. So this will be all for today, and thank you.